Hey you guys, it's Amy Gretchen. I just wanted to give you a warm welcome back to my channel. I know that it has been a little bit since you have seen and heard from me here. I also really wanted to thank all of you who sent me kind messages and notes and telling me that you love my channel and that you miss me, or really just checking up on me. That really means a great deal to me. And I appreciate so many of you allowing me to give myself that time that I needed to kind of work through some things that I've been working through. It's definitely been a difficult winter for me. And I think that's really all that it has been, is just a little bit of seasonal depression. But it's really been my creativity that has suffered the most, and that I just really haven't had the desire to create or really even tell stories. But before I get into that, I just wanted to show you what I was working on today. So I'm working on a Project Life spread, and this, I believe, is week 9. And you can see that I have a lot of 3x4 photos. So I don't have very many 4x6 photos, which is fine. But you'll see that I'm definitely going to be laying it out a little bit differently. And the kit that I'm going to be using for this week's spread is Ali Edwards' Story by the Month kit. This kit is actually April themed, but it comes out in March. And I really love these kits. They're a little bit smaller. They come with 4x6 cards, 3x4 cards, usually a chipboard set, a small 3x4 stamp set. And this time it actually came with some phrase stickers, which is really awesome. So I'm going to be using this kit for this spread. And like I've told you in the past, I really enjoy using kits for spreads in my project life, just because it helps them to be more cohesive, and I don't have to think really hard about it. And of course, it's hard not to use Ali supplies because they just go so well with telling stories. I'm just going to jump into this and then we will see where it goes. All right, so the thing that I'm starting with, that I usually start with, are my photos. So you can see that I am just cutting them apart because the majority of the photos for this week are 3x4s, which is actually something I have never done before. You see that I have one 4x6 photo of my daughter and I, and then the rest of them are vertical. So I've never done, in my whole life of doing Project Life, since I think it's 2013, I've never done a spread where the majority of my photos are 3x4s. And I am then going to be using the 4x6 pockets to hold the 3x4 cards and the 3x4 photos. Now I've done that onesie twosies, but I haven't done a full spread. So I was actually considering maybe using a different page protector. Maybe the Becky Higgins has, I think it's Design F, that's got, majority of them are 3x4 pockets. But I decided to use the Design A, which is the design I normally use, just because I didn't know what I was going to be doing the week after or the week before. You can see that I haven't done the week after or the week before. So I just decided to leave it as is, and that I would just combine the two 3x4s side by side, and that it would be really easy and simple to then add a 4x6 photo onto the other side if that's what I wanted to do, or I could add more 3x4s if that's what I wanted to do. So it's been really quite interesting to go and sit on my computer and realize I've taken no photos. I think I mentioned this on my stories over a month ago, that it was like a Friday and I hadn't taken any photos that week. And it was pretty shocking. In fact, I'm in March right now, and I just went and sat down and was editing some photos and was looking at some photos to print. And I realized that the first time I took photos with my Canon, now I took a few with my iPhone, but with my Canon, was March 12th. So 12 days into the month, and I hadn't taken anything with my larger camera, which really is unheard of for me. So you'll be seeing probably coming up more one-page spreads, just because I don't have as many photos, and then I can just tell more stories maybe without all the photos. And I'm totally okay with that. Right now, I am just in a place where I'm not wanting to take photos. And I'm trying not to get stressed out about that. I'm trying not to worry that, oh my gosh, my photos have to be a certain way, or my documenting has to be a certain way, or something like that. I'm just allowing myself to do what I'm doing right now. And creatively, I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not wanting to pull out my cameras and document. And that's okay, because I have a lot of documentation. So if a week or two go by that some photos are missed, it's totally fine. And I'm not stressed out about it at all. But when it comes to, documenting, because I am doing Project Life, like I said, I'll probably do more, either one page. I could do multiple weeks on a 2-page spread. I could do multiple weeks on a 1-page spread. It can really just be what you want it to be. I don't feel like it has to stick to a formula. And that's kind of what I'm allowing myself this year, is not to feel like I have to 100% completely stick to a formula. So anyway, I just want to give you guys permission as well, because I don't know where you're at. Maybe you don't love taking photos and you want to just write more stories. But if you're in a situation where you have a ton of photos, or you have less stories to tell, or more stories and less photos, just allow yourself to tell the stories that you do have and give yourself a break. So that is my advice for the week, or for the month, however you want to look at it. All right, so I've totally blown by a lot of the things that I have been doing, but hopefully you've been able to follow along. For this card right here, this came in the kit as well. You can see that I almost made like a grave error. That would have been such a bummer to have to reprint that. I do have the digital file, so it would have been okay, but still a bummer. I was just placing those that 1, 2, 3. You cannot see, but the underneath it had a 1. It was kind of gray. It had a 1, a 2, and a 3 right underneath the cloud. And so I just decided it'd be really cute to just add the chipboard 1, 2, 3. So that's what I went ahead and did. And then the other thing that I decided to do was to add some journaling right onto the photo. So there's a few ways that you could do this. You could do it like I'm doing, where you've typed out a phrase or a sentence or something about the photo, print it out on vellum, and then add that on top of the photo. Of course, you could do that with like a white piece of paper as well, but I think the vellum makes it feel like it is just right on top of the photo. You could do what I've done in the past before, which is to write a numbered list of, the phrase or the sentence about the photo, and then add the number right on to the photo. Or you could just think about this ahead of time before you actually print anything out, and type right onto the photo, and then print out the photo with the type on there. So there are several different things that you can do to get similar looks, but I thought it was fun to use the vellum this time. It gave a little bit of texture and dimension, but I also don't use vellum a lot, so it was fun to be able to do that for this one. So then the way I decided to attach the vellum is to just go ahead and staple it right onto the photo. So you can see that's what I'm doing here. I had thought about maybe having some of the vellum attached to the right side opposed to everything just on the left, but it just worked out that I decided to attach everything on the left, so I just kept it all on the left instead of having, I think the one with my daughter of us FaceTiming, I was thinking about having on the right, but I just didn't want one on the right, so I went ahead and did everything on the left. For this card that I am making here, so this good luck tag I actually made with some goodie bags for my daughter's dance competition, and there was one just sitting on my desk, and I was like, oh, that would actually be a really great card to use, or a little piece to use while I'm telling the story about her dance competition. So I just went ahead and kind of trimmed that down, and then used some staples to staple it on. And then the last thing, well, there's a couple other things after, but I'm going to start doing some of my journaling. I've really enjoyed using this note to self paper pad. So I'm probably going to use these, if not every week, almost every week, because it's kind of fun to be able to almost write yourself a little letter or a little reminder of something for the week. And this reminder this week was to get outside. So the weather has been definitely better. The weather has been so crazy this year, but it was for the most part pretty good that week and had some really good days of warmth. And so I decided to go for a walk. I haven't been out as much. I've been trying to do it a lot more lately because it really has helped me to get outside. And that is what I wrote about, is to remind myself to get outside, that it makes myself feel so much better. All right, so the next thing that I'm doing is I need to make a couple more cards, couple more journaling cards, and I'm going to do that by obviously cutting up some just white paper, and then I'm going to use the stamps that came with the kit. So you'll see the stamps in just a minute. I'm going to pull them over, and I'm looking for some ink that I want. Well, before I do that, there's a card in there that says Easter Memories, or excuse me, a stamp. And so I decided to just cut off the Easter from the memories, because it's super easy to be able to put your stamps back on. So never be afraid to cut them up, because they actually fit together pretty well. The plastic goes together really well. And I just wanted the memories. So then the next thing that I'm doing is I'm looking for the colors, and I settled on, I think this is called Coral Bay from Studio Calico. And I just thought the orange went really well with like the orange from the book. You know, there's some orange in some of the photos. There's orange from one of the cards. There's my shirt's like yellowy, orangey. So I just thought it would go really well. And of course, to me, that just is very complimentary to the blues. And of course, this is not something that was intentional. It just is what happened with the actual kit, having blues and oranges. And then my photos ended up having similar color. So it just worked out really well. It's not something that I planned, but it was very serendipitous. So the one thing that I decided to do with this, instead of just stamping it once, I decided to stamp it 3 times. So it's going to be hard to see. You can probably tell, you have to look at the photos. You can probably tell that I stamped it twice. And with the memory card or the memory stamp, I did stamp it twice. And then with the other one, I decided to do it 3 times. So then I just went ahead and I stamped it again, the memories, and I had to stamp it twice off and then a 3rd time right on the card. So hopefully that makes sense. But I just liked the way that that looked. And that card, I talked a little bit about my birthday. This happens to be my birthday week. And so I talked a little bit about what went on for my birthday. And then the other one, I think, says something like living life one day at a time or something like that. I think that's what it says. And I just kind of wrote generally, you know, what's going on in our life right now. So that's what that journaling is about. Anyways, I am almost done. Just one more thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to add a few more of those chipboards. I was looking at those phrase stickers. I do end up putting one of the phrase stickers on that photo of walking outside, so the one with all the blue sky. And then I'm taking some of these smaller chipboard with like the icons. Some of them have words like this and bloom, and then some of them have like foliage, a picture of foliage, and I think there's maybe one with a sun and stuff like that. So I was just kind of adding some around. I don't think I added too many, maybe 3. I added maybe 3 or something like that, just because I didn't want it to get too cluttered, but I just wanted to add a little bit more like kind of a pop of color. But I also really liked the circles. It seemed like, you know, with the numbers, there's circles, and then, you know, the note to self. So just adding a few more circles. Oh yeah. And even in the project I made, that picture I took of my project, or actually I think that's a screenshot, there's circles in that too. So I thought that that would be fun to add some circles there. Anyway, you guys, that is going to be it for me with this spread. I really hope you're able to get some inspiration from this. Like I said, I am super happy to be back, to be creating, to be editing my photos, to be back on YouTube. So thank you guys so much again. I hope you enjoy playing with your Allie Edwards kit. If you don't have the kit yet, go to Allie's website and you can check it out. All right, you guys, we will catch you in the next video. Bye.